Well, some prisons have more inmate deaths than others. In Pennsylvania, a bill would make sure reporting those deaths is strongly enforced. Taylor Tashev is here to tell us about it. Taylor.
Alicia, a state senator introduced a bill to strengthen the reporting of jail deaths. It would require all state and local law enforcement agencies to report in custody deaths to the state attorney general within 30 days. Advocates and county officials who testified at a Democratic Senate hearing today say the more data, the more policy change.
We need to treat death in custody as a matter of public health.
That was the message during a Senate committee hearing at the state capitol to discuss deaths in Pennsylvania prisons.
The lack of reporting or lack of access to this data by some of our Pennsylvania jails is widespread.
That issue highlighted by the work of journalists.
Penn Live and the Pittsburgh Institute for Nonprofit Journalism undertook a 6-month investigation to create the first comprehensive database of such deaths in our state. The investigation identified at least 65 deaths in custody across the state in 2022, only about 40 of which were reported as required.
What brought me here today was that I was trying to figure out what the fatality rates were in the different jails, and I couldn't.
Advocates want the state to add a death in custody checkbox to a death certificate, which they say will help capture more data.
This is a simple checkbox that states death in custody, yes or no, and has sub-boxes that say arrest-related or incarcerated.
And a death in custody review committee.
This will ensure that any big problems at the facility or agency level are identified and hopefully corrected.
The Commonwealth is better than this.
In his first few months in office, Dauphin County Commissioner Justin Douglas testified at Tuesday's hearing. He centered his campaign around prison reform.
Specifically, prison deaths, and I was told that it was a waste of time for me to run that kind of a campaign, that it would not be successful.
Douglas says 16% of the county's prison population is either on suicide watch or mental health watch.
44% of our population is taking some type of psychiatric meds. And so when we look at that reality, we are not a hospital, but we're asking, our providers to provide that.
The Dauphin County Prison has been under scrutiny. 3 inmates have died in the past 4 months. In one case, an inmate is accused of smuggling drugs inside, which led to an inmate death. Douglas says staffing levels is a constant issue.
When we're on constant lockdowns because we're 60 correction officers down in staffing right now, people literally don't go outside. The data would be so helpful because the data is going to drive the decision making, which is ultimately going to drive the policy, which is going to drive the investment.
Douglas says the county is working to increase transparency when it comes to the prison. There will be a town hall with the warden, director of criminal justice, and prison board members this Thursday at the Hub building on Fulton Street in Harrisburg. It starts at 6 p.m. Live in studio, Taylor Tashev. Valerie, back to you.